Good evening, everyone. My name is Architect Rap.
And I'm Architect Michelle.
And you are watching Ready Now, pre-event Facebook Live talk show of the UAP National Architecture Week 2021. Now, you may be wondering what is Ready Now? What are we ready for? What am I watching?
That's right, buddy. Why don't we give our viewers a brief introduction about the now?
Ready Now is the official Facebook Live talk show of the UAP National Architecture Week Committee for fiscal year 2021-2022. We are airing an episode every Wednesday beginning today, November 3, 2021 until December 1. As an eager anticipation to the actual celebration of the National Architecture Week happening this December 6 until 11.
Correct, buddy. For our pilot episode today, we have invited not one, not two, but three now chairmen to help us get better understanding of this very important celebration in the architecture profession.
So without further ado, let us meet our special guest for this evening. Help me welcome Architect Sophia Avendaño, Architect Guerrero, and Architect Roselle Santos. Hi, Architect Christian, Architect Sophia, and Architect Roselle. Kamusta? Kamusta po kayo, mga sir and ma'am?
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yan. So, actually, the honor is ours, no? So, maraming pong salamat, Architect Christian, Architect Pia, Architect Roselle, for accepting the invitation to be part of this pilot episode. I know na for sure marami kaming matututunan sa inyo, sirs and ma'am, about ano ba talaga ang National Architecture Week? Ano ba ang significance nito? At marami rin tayong matututunan tungkol sa mga experiences ng ating mga past now chairman. Tama ba, Architect Michelle?
Yeah, I can't wait to hear them tell their most memorable stories of their now moments.
Yan. Okay, but before that, syempre, kamustahin muna natin ang ating mga guest past now chairman. So, Architect, ladies first muna, syempre. So, Architect Pia, kamusta?
Hi, good evening. I'm okay. As usual, nasa site office pa nag-work while we're doing this interview. So, as of now, I'm fine. I'm very fine. I'm very glad na invite mo ako for this interview. So, thank you.
Tsaka,
And good luck. Congrats pala.
Thank you, Pia. Alam mo na, balitaan ko, meron kang dinadalang maliit na anghel, tama ba?
Yeah, I'm just 6 months pregnant. Kanina, I've had the congenital anomaly scan, and so far so good. Normal naman lahat. So I'm very happy.
So despite na meron kang ngayong condition na bubuntis ka ngayon, Architect Pia, maraming salamat na tinanggap mo yung invitation at naglaan ka ng oras para sa National Architecture Week. Thank you very much.
The pleasure is mine. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so talong naman tayo kay Architect Roselle. Architect Roselle, ma'am, kamusta po kayo ngayon?
Hi, yes, good evening. Thank you for inviting me dito sa first episode nyo ng Ready Now. And I'm okay, I'm good. Nagpa-practice architecture, medyo minsan nga lang, syempre ang dami kasing mga hindrances before dahil nga sa pandemic, pero at least now medyo nag-uumpisa ulit na yun. So yun, thank you for inviting me here.
Thank you, Architect Roselle. So kamustahin naman natin ang ating the only thorn among the roses, si Architect Christian. Kamusta po kayo, Architect Christian?
Mabuti po. Maraming salamat and good evening to everyone. And first of all, I would like to congratulate you, Architect Rap, for coming up with this Ready Now. live broad, ano ba to? Live telecast ba to or something like that, no?
Mhm.
But well, this is a chance for everyone to be aware of what National Architecture Week is all about. And I guess our discussion would go smoothly and would be informative for all the listeners and the viewers out there. So thank you so much for inviting us. Thank you.
That's right. So, now that you've mentioned that, Architect Christian, actually, kaya po tayo nag-gather this evening for Ready Now is actually gusto po natin talagang malaman, no? Ano nga ba ang National Architecture Week? Okay, perhaps some of you or most of you may have heard National Architecture Week even way back nung pang kayo ay nasa school, high school perhaps or college. Pero ngayon na nandito ngayon tayo sa profession and para po sa kaalaman din ng ating mga viewers na non-architects, perhaps they are allied professionals or perhaps your family and friends. So, ang una pong tanong ay ano nga ba ang National Architecture Week? Perhaps we can hear from gentleman first naman si Architect Christian.
Iba naman.
Okay. Siguro way back during my college years, may National Architecture Week na eh, no? So we try to celebrate the week in order to commemorate the profession. No? We try to promote the profession and make it known to the public that there is such a thing as architecture, no? Because just like what I think the former president of UAP, si Architect Bench Panganiban, he has a slogan, yung for designs and plans, get an architect. So he tries to promote the architecture profession to the public because, pag sinabi kasing papatayo akong bahay, marami sa mga masa, no? Engineer ang kilala, no? Hindi kilala yung arkitekto. So I guess it's one way for us to really promote the profession in National Architecture, not only to the masses but also to give importance, most especially to the students, no? That there's such a period, no? That we need to really think about what we need. We really need to think about what we ought to do in order to make the profession really known to the public and give importance to the things that we do for the public as well. No? So yun, I could very well remember when I chaired the National Architecture Week in 2019, no? The theme was about housing. So the title of our now is Abot Tanaw, Tahanan para sa Lahat. So the details I can explain later.
All right. So thank you, Architect Christian, no? So basically, talagang ang National Architecture Week ay para ipakilala sa publiko ang propesyon ng mga arkitekto. Yan po ang aking napulot kay Architect Christian. How about you, Architect Michelle? Anong mga lessons ang nakuha mo doon?
Sa National Architecture Week, basically it's more of really cherishing the purpose. It's like you're reconnecting to the purpose of why did you, in the first place, why did you think of taking up that course, up to practicing that course, and like Sir Christian is into an academic, who went into the academic field before, kung paano ba talagang magpasa, kumbaga magbigay ng legacy or to pass to students what they have learned or what he has learned as a person regarding architecture. Ako yung ano yung mga gusto niya iparating sa estudyante niya. So parang nakakatuwa na parang later on may tanong ako kay Sir Kirsten regarding that. So now, pagtuturo. Diba?
Right. Okay, thank you, Michelle. Can we hear naman from Architect Pia? Um, Kasi sabi nga ni Architect Christian, no, ipakilala ang architecture sa publiko. Now, Architect Pia, if you are to explain in layman's terms and words, paano mo ba i-explain? Ano nga ba ang arkitektura at ano nga ba ang importansya nito sa kabuuan ng isang bansa?
Hi. So, unahin ko muna, as I remember, tama naman po si Sir Mike Guerrero na, and Michelle na this Architecture Week is para sa exposure kung ano ang arkitektura at ano ang nagagawa nito para sa mga taong nangangailangan ng ating serbisyo. So ang naisip ko sa kanya noong panahon ng estudyante pa ako, actually excited ako pag sinabing National Architecture Week kasi it falls on my birthday palagi. So parang
Right.
it's meant to be na mag-arkitekto ako kasi it falls on my birthday. So I'm excited. So I think of it as like festivities, parang fiesta kasi doon tayo mas lumalabas at mas nagkilala sa madla, halimbawa sa mga estudyante muna, sa level ng mga students, mas nakikilala tayo ng ibang courses kasi syempre, di ba, pag arkitekto, lagi lang tayong nakasalampak sa isang sulok, nagdo-drawing, busy tayo, parang suplado yung dating. Pero pag dating ng National Architecture Week, parang doon tayo medyo umiingay, doon tayo mas nagpapakilala tayo sa ating mga kapwa-estudyante that time. So I think of it as parang fiesta. So parang fiesta na pinagsisigawan natin kung ano tayo. Yun. So sana ako na sa mga past na projects sa now, napakaganda talaga yung architectural clinic para parang hindi matakot na lumapit ang isang ordinaryong tao at humingi ng advice, pro bono advice sa ating mga arkitekto. Kasi ang daming nagsasabi na arkitekto, mahal yan, professional yan, pero hindi nila alam na mas malaki ang matitipid kapag humingi ng advice or kumuha ng serbisyo talaga sa isang arkitekto kasi may iwasan mo na may maitayo na mali sa design stage pa lang, sa mga materials na pipiliin at sa mga tamang tao na gagawa sa iyong project. Yun. So, yun yung nakikita ko doon in a layman's term na may mga times na hindi naman sa bumababa or mas may mga yung now is parang yung panahon na umiingay lang tayo para mapansin tayo ng mga kasamahan natin sa ng mga tao. Yun lang po.
Naramdaman ko yun, Architect Pia. So, ayun, sabi nga ni Architect Pia, no, may mga tao na parang medyo aloof, no, parang nahihiya or baka hindi natin alam kung anong dahilan, parang nahihiya or natatakot lumapit sa arkitekto at magtanong, no? Pero without knowing na yung palang mga ma-share na insights ng isang arkitekto ay actually instead na mapamahal sila dahil kumuha sila ng serbisyo ng isang arkitekto ay actually mas nakatipid pa sila, no? So maganda yung na-share na insights ni Pia, no? Maraming salamat for that, Architect Pia.
Rob?
Yes, Michelle?
Can I add to that? Kasi di ba sinabi ni Pia is it's more of nakakatawa yung mag-promote ng pagiging arkitekto, especially to the public, para makakuha at kumbaga magbe-benefit yung public kasi mas makakaiwas sila sa further na yung alam mo yun, yung gastos dahil hindi na-oversee ganito dahil only an architect can advise on those matters. Pero also, it's important din na to promote our profession kasi there are people who can really hire architect but they don't have this sense of ethics. So it's promoting our profession is also one way of promoting ethical practice, not only in the profession but also to people. Na if you can really pay for it, then go for the proper you mean the proper channel of doing that. Don't bypass any profession. Yun lang.
That's right. So thank you for that addition, Michelle. How about kay Architect Roselle? Ma'am, yun nga po na nabanggit na ni Architect Christian, ano ba ang now nabanggit ni Architect Pia, ano ba ang importansya ng mga arkitekto? Punta po tayo sa sa selebrasyon ng National Architecture Week. Architect Roselle, if you would compare, ano ba ang now, ano ba ang WAD, ano ba ang NatCon, ano ba ang LCA, how does National Architecture Week differ from all of these other conferences or celebrations?
Hey, again, good evening. Now differs from the other celebrations like WAD, NCA, NatCon. Kasi now is a presidential decree.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm sorry, I forgot kung PD 47 ba siya, na is a presidential decree na 1971.
That's
Ginawa
right.
siya under kay President Ferdinand Marcos na magkakaroon tayo ng celebration as an architect. So ginawa nilang National Architecture Week, yung week ng December. So
Correct.
doon pa lang iba na ang now kasi ito talaga may at ang swerte mo nga now chair Rap dahil ngayon 50th year ng National Architecture Week kasi 1971 siya. So dapat actually it's a big celebration, golden anniversary ng National Architecture Week ngayong taon. So yun, difference rin niya from WAD, of course, yung sa atin week, 1 week siya. Yung WAD is World Architecture Day. So isang araw siya, every first Monday ng October, pero yun nga lang, the difference is worldwide. Etong National Architecture Week ay sa Philippines lang. And then with National Conference, so alam din naman natin na every year, ginagawa natin yung National Conference. So ABCD, pero laging dito sa Manila ang venue. And then kapag naman National Conference of Architects, ito yung umiikot na, di ba, from sa Area B, Area C, Area D. And may ibang activities kasi pag conference Kapag conference kasi may dito yung nagkakaroon na talaga ng meeting ang bawat areas. And they tackle topics about the problems or kung ano yung future ng architecture and UAP. Yun.
That's right. So, buti nabanggit ni ni Architect Roselle. Actually, I just realized now na 50th year nga ng National Architecture Week. And I feel so blessed literally because ma-share ko lang din nung presidency ko last fiscal year, nag-celebrate ang architecture profession ng 100th year. And then I was the 25th president. Tapos ngayon nabanggit mo, ma'am, 50th year ngayon ng now. So parang very significant yung mga numbers. Thank you for that.
Kulang mo na lang 75.
Okay.
Tapos tumakbo ko itong 75 years.
75 na lang. Oo. Actually, tama si Architect Roselle, no? On November 18, 1971, okay, si then President Ferdinand Marcos made the proclamation number 934, series of 1971. Yeah. At ito po ang nakalagay doon. declaring the second week of December of every year as Architecture Week, whereas architects contribute to the systematic and well-planned development of urban centers, parks, cultural and art centers, as well as to modern trends in construction, and whereas it is desirable to draw attention to their invaluable contribution towards planned urban growth, environmental planning, and for overall social progress. So yun po ang ating hugot, no, sa National Architecture Week. So talagang ang National Architecture Week, it was created para talaga to draw public attention to the invaluable contribution of architects towards nation building. So thank you for mentioning that, Architect Roselle. Now, balik naman tayo sa doon sa yung taon kung saan kayo ay nag-chairman ng ating National Architecture Week. Let's talk about your experiences. Alright? So, kanina nauna na si Architect Pia, sumunod si Architect Christian. Ngayon, siguro, unahin naman natin si Ma'am Roselle. Okay? So, yung immediate past celebration ng National Architecture Week. How was it, Ma'am?
Yung Now 2020, siguro sabihin natin pinaka iba sa lahat kasi ito lang yung first time siguro na nagkaroon tayo ng virtual celebration. Kasi before that, puro syempre face-to-face ang nangyayari. Pero yun yung one problem before nung na-appoint ako na now chairman. Kasi hindi natin alam kung yung December na yon allowed na yung face-to-face. And di ba, tapos ang daming cases. Minsan nagsasara, WAD nga, during WAD, di ba, nagsara ang UAP kasi nagkaroon ng COVID cases. So, nagplan na lang talaga na walang face-to-face. Mangyayari talaga virtual halos lahat. Though, syempre, yung organizing committee and yung mga officers ng UAP na andun pa rin tayo sa headquarters, hindi naman pwedeng mawala. Pero, yun nga, all of the activities nag-virtual. Ang isang madali, yung pag-invite lang. Parang kasi kapag face-to-face, nandyan tayo sa UAP, hindi lahat nakaka-participate yung ABCD natin kasi kailangan nilang magpunta ng Manila or ang participation ay nangyayari, may mga videos, di ba? We ask videos or we ask yung mga footages or yung mga documents how they celebrated their National Architecture Week. Pero this time, because pinuno nung time ng 2020 ng mga seminars dahil issue rin naman ng mga CPD points, ang daming mas nakakuha ng mas maraming attendees sa mga seminars. Not only sa Philippines, pero even yung nasa abroad, nakaka-reach out because of the virtual celebration. Isang problem naman din because we also need to do exhibits kasi hindi lang siya pang architects nga na license, di ba? So very important yung role ng students and ng mga graduate students. So yung UAPSA and UAPGA. So meron tayo ring mga ginawang mga competitions for the graduates and for the students. And of course, we have to exhibit that. So may exhibit sa UAP, but minsan nakalagay na lang, nakikiusap sa KYP or sa HQ na you have to put it in FB Live para makita ng mga tao. And sa opening, ang konti-konti ng tao, limited yung tao. Nag-mix ng virtual and face-to-face, ganyan. And then halos lahat, talaga, virtual na. ang ginawa na celebration. Medyo yun lang ang mahirap din during that time, of course, pagkuha ng sponsors. Dahil wala talaga lahat. Even kahit na minsan gusto nila, pero wala rin silang pasok. Kaya, ayun. But
Ramdam
with the
kita,
help,
ma'am.
with the help, ikaw nga, ang dami, nakita ko, very good. So, with the help of my chapter and, of course, yung sa UAP, MANCO, my executive officers, ayun, nakaraos naman ng now 2020.
Alright. Thank you for that, Architect Roselle, no? Totoo, ramdam ko yung mga sinabi ni Architect Roselle. Pero alam naman nating lahat na for the past year or so, talagang everyone is literally just trying to survive this situation. So we fully understand our industry partners in that yun. So thank you, Architect Roselle.
Welcome.
Yeah. So since we are traveling back in time from 2020, punta po tayo sa 2019. Architect Christian.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was a very busy period in my life, being the now chairman. Because when I got my appointment from architect, from past President Bench Panganiban, and through my CJ director, CJ executive director, Gil Kapitana, from that time on, since July, July of 2019 onwards, preparation already began. Okay, but parang naging one-man army eh. No?
Talaga.
Because I had no other fellow architects to rely to. No? But there was one architect who really helped me, and he was my vice chairman. Si Architect Jake Lazo, from Pasig Capitolio chapter. So sabi ko, Jake, pakitulungan ako. So ang naging workhorse namin was we partnered with UAPSA. No? Excuse me. So UAPSA yung naging workhorse namin during that time. So kami dalawa lang ni Jake and the UAPSA gang na. No? So it was a very busy half year for me and Jake back then, with all the preparation, because we had a lot of plans, to be delivered on the National Architecture Week. It was from December 8 to 14. So we were planning to have motorcades, which pushed through. The motorcade, and there was a mass, and then there was this opening ceremony. And we held it in Ayala Malls in Parañaque, along Macapagal Boulevard. Excuse me. So it was during that time when Area B held their World Architecture Day in Ayala Malls. And Ayala Malls was offering the space for a very minimal fee, So sabi namin sa Area B, sige, after yung WAD ninyo, kami na yung papasok, kami na yung magre-resume para dire-diretso, di ba? It's still UAP, di ba? Ongoing naman eh. So, nag-extend si Area B, and then pumasok kami noong December. But prior to that, our plans were coming up with design competition, just like yung ginawa nila Ma'am Roselle, sa succeeding year. So yung design competition namin was more or less relative to housing, So we opened it up to the different universities or architecture schools back then. Marami sumali eh, There were a lot of entries, and we have our senior architects or senior fellow architects sa UAP, just like Architect Beth Regala, Architect Pipo Karunungan, who else? Architect William T. and Architect Nazareno, and Father Flavi were the judges back then, for the design competition. Because the housing was situated in a property that is owned by Kalinga Foundation. So yung Kalinga Foundation, it was also part of our program to have a CSR. So there was a day in our National Architecture Week that we held a parang pakain, sa mga street people. So through Kalinga Foundation. Aside from that, we also had a photography competition, Okay, photo contest. We have an indoor and outdoor photo contest. So nag-progress sa mga students din, And so yung mga entries, yung mga finalists, yun yung mga in-exhibit namin sa Ayala Mall. Okay? So it was an awareness to the public that housing may be scarce for some people, but actually it can be reached, So kaya ang abot tanaw, tahanan para sa lahat. Okay. So we also had a balangkasan back then, through Dinslay. Okay. And we also had a quiz bee, sa mga students. So marami kami naging activities during the National Architecture Week. So it was really a very festive ceremony. So that was a one whole week, but the preparation was really quite long. And naging close ako sa mga UAP sa people na until today, they're trying to submit their resumes,
Mhm.
Gusto mag-apply sa office namin. Graduate na kasi sila eh. So yun. It was a very fun-filled experience.
Nice. So, actually, yung pagka nagkukwento sila, sila Architect Roselle, sila Architect Christian, nararamdaman ko yung mga kwento nila from the struggles ni Architect Roselle sa paghanap ng funds to the struggle ni Architect Christian sa pagbuo ng program. Sabi nga ni Architect Christian, naging dynamic duo with Architect Jake Lasso. Hello, Architect Jake. So,
yeah.
Ayun.
Yung budget medyo I think we reached to almost 700,000 yung budget.
Wow!
Yeah.
Galing nga eh. Kaya nga natakot, papasingit Kaya nga Architect Christian, natakot ako noon nung binigay mo sa akin yun. Sabi ko, saan ako kukuha noon? Pero buti na lang, yun nga, yung team din ng yung Orcom nung time ko, though apat lang kami na tapos yung Manila Metro and of course sina NT Jason ngayon. Siyempre sila yung malaking tulong talaga para makakuha ng sponsorship. And since yun nga virtual siya, kaya hindi ganun kailangan kalaki ang budget. So sumobra pa ata ng kaunti yung nakuha namin.
Actually, less demanding kapag virtual ang budget.
Yes.
Pag face-to-face, more demanding ang budget, just like ours. And I think we were able to give cash prizes to the winners of the competition plates and the photo contest. So, yung sa photo contest namin, yung judges pa namin, si Pat D, So, very well-known photographer, tsaka the other one was Denise Weldon, no? So si Denise Weldon is also a very well-known photographer, and Mark Go, an architect, who is a photographer as well. So masaya yung preparation and the actual implementation of now. So good luck sa'yo, Architect Rob.
Thank you. I really need that. So thank you, Architect Roselle, Architect Christian. Now from 2020, 2019. Hello, Ma'am Pia. 2018, kamusta po ang ating now?
Naging now chair ako after ko maging chapter president. Actually, nung habang chapter president ako, medyo napabayaan ko yung work ko. Na dumating sa point na tinanong ako ng boss ko, ano ba, UAP o trabaho? Sabi ko, sir, babawi ako. Parang ready na ngang magpirmahan ng ng resignation letter or termination letter. Pero sabi ko, sir, babawi ako. Ganon. So, I make it to a point na hindi ko mapabayaan ang work ko. Kaya nung napapansin nila Architect Bench, tsaka nila Architect Hill Hapitana na nahihirapan ako mag-come up, kaya they called on Architect Richard para siya na yung mag-take over ng pagiging now chairmanship, and then ako na lang yung vice. So more on sa utak si Richard, more on sa planning stage siya rin yung nagtiyaga na kumuha ng sponsors, and alam ko kahit pa paano may kinita yung yung naging now namin, that was 2018, ang pinaka namin that time is Pananaw. So ang logo namin parang isang malaking eye, ganun. So we're looking parang ang dating we're looking forward to future sa architecture. Tsaka yan din yung time na na hayok tayo sa CPD points eh. Ang daming naghahabol ng CPD points, kaya naging focus ng namin, ng time namin ng now is makapag-produce ng mga ng mga CPD seminars. So almost every day we have CPD seminars at the UAP. So sa part ko personally, sobrang busy rin ako dyan that time. Kasi more on, sabihin natin si Richard, more on siyang utak. Ako naman yung ako yung on-site, ako yung sa execution na part. So I'm trying na i-juggle yung yung oras ko. Tipong halimbawa, umaga ako nag-opening ng seminar in CW Home Depot, then tatakbo ako dito sa Laguna for inspection, for billings, for that, and then babalik ako dun sa CW Home Depot para to close the programs and settle yung mga kailangan i-settle, yung mga ganun. So, super busy, sobrang haggard, and then I have no service that time, or on angkas-angkas lang sa motor. Kaya, alam mo yun, bumarampa ako sa mga boulders dyan, naka-makeup pa ako, naka-ano pa ako. So, super busy, super challenging, pero it was fun, yun ang masasabi ko. Para hindi mo maramdaman yung bigat, yung heaviness ng nung gawain mo, I make it fun. I make it na wala, pagsubok to, kaya ko to. Hindi to ibibigay sa akin kung hindi ko to kakayanin. So isa sa mga fun part din dun sa sa pananaw namin is yung mga TV interviews na nakapag kami sa media. So yun yung part ng namin ng exposure. So nag-tap kami sa media. Also, may sponsorships din kami na kung saan napaglaanan ng ating kinita sa now at that time, pero I just don't know lang kung na-execute yun. It's the UAP Library and Archives, one book, one architect project, and also yung patubig para sa sitio Itangleo. So, as I know, yun nga, minsan nabanggit nga ni Architect Gakuta na yung now namin, kahit pa paano, may kinita at may kapupuntahan yung yung kinita na now. So, yun po, yun lang yung medyo naging struggle na masaya sa panahon ko ng now. Yes.
Actually, yun nga, chapter mates kami ni Pia, and nag-start ako maging active with UAP during her presidency, and I could really attest doon sa mga kinuwento ni Pia, no, talagang ito si Architect Pia, literal na lagari siya. Lumalagari talaga yan. May gagawin siya activity rito, then maya-maya tatakbo na yan pupunta sa, at hindi hindi within the same city, from one city to another, minsan from one province to another city to another province. So ganun po
Yeah.
yung work culture ni Architect Pia. And napaka blessed ng iyong boss, no, na hindi kanya pinakawalan, because I'm sure marami kang contribution sa inyong company, Architect
Yeah,
Pia.
thank you.
All right, so buddies, that was very informative discussion, no? Magmula sa ano ba ang now, hanggang sa ano ba ang architecture, sino ba ang architect, hanggang sa mga experiences ng ating mga past now chairpersons. Don't you agree, Architect Michelle?
Yeah, definitely. All right. But let us hold this conversation for a bit as we play some important videos from our industry partners.
That's right. So stay tuned. Ready Now will be back in a short while.
For 25 years, UNITEC Pipe Manufacturing Corporation has always been your partner by providing you quality, premium, and industry-leading plumbing and sanitary solutions. With our amazing sales team providing excellent delivery service, our office staff providing the best customer service, and our engineers providing decades worth of technical experience. Our products and services all geared towards precision, quality, and excellence. 25 years of comfortable homes from the pipes you can trust. UNITEC Pipe Manufacturing Corporation.
lagi po sila nagdidikit-dikit. Dahil po doon sa marker, napapanatili po namin yung physical at social distancing habang nakapila. Nagiging responsable po yung mga mamimili po natin dahil po doon sa marker na nalagay ng label.
With those markers, nagiging conscious yung tao. So, pag nakita nila yon, nasusunod naman nila that they use that for physical distancing through those markers.
And we are back. Before we proceed to the second part of our conversations, we would like to take this opportunity to thank our industry partners who have made Ready Now possible. Thank you, DAVIES Paints, UNITEC Pipes, DECO CLAD Walls and Ceilings, KUYSEN, and BOYSEN.
And now, moving forward, let us hear from our guests today about their aspirations for the now celebrations in the future. Sorry.
Right. So, meron po tayong, for the second part, meron pong isang question lang na sasagutin po ang lahat ng ating past now chairpersons. No? This is about your aspirations. Okay? In the future na mga National Architecture Week celebrations, perhaps this year or next year or 5 years from now, 10 years from now, ano yung gusto ninyong makita sa National Architecture Week celebration? Perhaps we could begin with Architect Pia.
Yeah, hello. Maybe sa akin, I wanted na magkaroon ng isang common project o isang malaking project na it will be involved ang lahat ng chapters, parang ganun. National level ang dating. Halimbawa, we will design, we will create, we will may something na itatayo na that will symbolize our UAP at ang silbi ng arkitektura sa Pilipinas. So, yun yung nakikita kong isang parang symbol na sama-sama nating bubuin. Yun. That's what I think in the future. Sana.
Yan. Maganda yan, no? Na-envision ko yung sinasabi mo, Architect Pia. So, kung sino man po yung susunod sa akin na now chairperson, take note ko po yan. Maganda pong idea. Thank you, Architect Pia. How about si Architect Christian?
You know, in as much as we celebrate the National Architecture Week annually, ako isa lang gusto ko makita that all architects will be united.
Wow.
Diba? Now that we have the HB 10234, do you think that we are united? So that's a very, very big question nowadays, no? For all of us architects to really think about where we stand. And, may mga ibang kabaro natin kasi na iba yung iniisip, may mga ibang kabaro tayo na iba rin yung opinion. So sana magkaisa-isa tayo sa ating adhikain na masulong natin yung profesyon natin na hindi tayo nagkakasalungat ng pananaw, no, sa ating profesyon. But hence, we all would be one and united in promoting our profession, especially. Okay? That will be all. Thank you.
May
And
question
I
ako.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Michelle, you're saying?
May question ako kay Sir Christian. Kasi kanina ko pa gusto itanong. Since
Sure,
he's
go.
Sir Christian, you're really into di ba ito yung pinaka travel talaga doon sa path ng academe, di ba? Nagturo ka. So, in celebration of now, do you think it's also, what is your view on this of teaching architecture for, let's say, now, as part of now activity, teaching architecture for tertiary or yung mga elementary levels? What's your view on that? Or do you want to partake on that? Kasi parang sobrang, di ba?
Actually, UAP Las Piñas chapter has a program this Saturday. I think we have 2 fellow members who will be speaking in the elementary level, no, sa grade 6, okay, in one of the schools here in Las Piñas. Just to tell the younger generation what architecture is all about. And if you want to take up architecture, there's no one who should stop you from taking it, no? Whatever class in society you are in. So, kay mahirap ka, kay mayaman ka, pwede ka mag-arkitekto. Okay? So walang pwedeng pumigil kahit kanino man sa isang pangarap ng isang bata na maging arkitekto. So that's one way of promoting, the profession even to the younger ones, no? Para mamulat sa kaisipan ng mga bata at ng mga magulang nila na merong ganitong klaseng profesyon na gumagabay sa lipunan, no? In terms of in the design and construction industry. So that's one. And right now I'm still teaching, no, sa UST, in the higher year. No? And I would always tell my students na, you need to, in order for you to keep up with this profession, you always need to advance your thinking. Okay? Kasi, hindi ka pwedeng magpapahuli. You always need to innovate. Your designs should always be new. That's why we're architects. Okay? Hindi tayo pwedeng copycat, no? That's what I always tell my students. You cannot copy whatever we see in the magazines or whatever you see in other architects' website. It may be an inspiration, but you need to come up with your own. I threw a challenge right now to my students because the plate is a medical hospital. No? And the fire department and the DOH has a requirement in terms of a ramp, no, from the topmost floor up to the ground floor. So sabi ko, medyo hassle yun, no? It destroys the architecture, but for safety purposes, it is required by the fire department and the DOH. So I challenged my students, how can you get rid of that ramp? It may be a nuisance on your plan, but you need to think of something, a new technology that can beat that ramp, and maybe you can have it patented, diba? Present it to DOH or to the fire department. Instant millionaire kayo. So yun. So as architects, I think we need to tell the younger generation that they need to be creative and innovative.
Yes, actually satisfied. Actually, sir, I'm also teaching in the elementary, so nakaka-relate ako. Kaya that's why.
Actually, kaya niya
Okay.
tinanong.
Diba?
So thank you very much for that, Architect Christian.
Thank you.
And I totally agree, no, dun sa vision or aspiration Architect Christian na to really see architects as one, especially now with the HB 10234 challenge, no? So yun, sana maging isa po ang mga arkitekto sa ating mga adhikain. So thank you for that. And last but definitely not the least, Architect Roselle.
Yes, it's Miss Roselle.
Yes, oo. Of course, I agree with Ma'am Pia and Sir Christian. Dun sa mga aspirations natin, dun sa gusto natin mangyari sa profession, sa UAP rin, na magkaroon tayo ng united talaga, architects of the Philippines. Yun nga yung isang gusto ko rin sana kasi last year, as now chair, na sabi ko, actually yung area A, B, C, D sa atin, di ba, medyo, alam naman natin, medyo may pagkahiwa-hiwalay rin. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Sabi ko, paano ko ba gagawin na magkakaroon tayo ng talagang united na hindi nila sabihin na bakit nasa NCR laging nasa NCR ang sentro. Pwede naman kasing gawin sa Visayas, pwede naman gawin sa Mindanao. Ang sentro ng National Architecture Week or kahit anong celebration, yari siguro nagkakaroon ng NCA para iikot natin, di ba, ang conferences ng architects. Pero dito sa National Architecture Week kasi before, naisip ko, not only to have representatives each area, but sana, gusto ko rin sana noon na ano yung celebration na sa isang araw, sila yung magpapakita ng how do they celebrate the National Architecture Week in line with, of course, the theme. Kasi doon time ko, obvious na obvious kasi dahil new normal tayo. So now normal yung ginawa namin na theme, and talagang shifting norms in the practice of architecture. So halos virtual. So ang iniisip din noon, how will we practice na ito nga limited yung movement natin. So nagawa naman siya dahil nagkaroon tayo ng mga Zoom, nagkaroon tayo ng mga virtual meetings. So okay yun. Ang kapos lang talaga sa time to coordinate with kasi dapat na kino-coordinate na vice presidents, di ba? Kasi ABCD na siya. So vice presidents ng bawat area. And very limited yung time na makuha mo lahat na mag-participate naman kayo na itong day na to, for example, yung first day tayong lahat, yung second day A, B, C, D, di ba? Na magpapakita, parang maganda yon na hindi lang nakasentro sa NCR. But yun nga, the problem then last year is yung pandemic na hanggang ngayon meron pa rin tayo. Pero yun yung gusto ko na magkaroon ng unified talaga, unity yung mga architects na hindi nasasabi na nasa NCR or dahil nasa probinsya kami, yung ganyan. Na pare-pareho tayo lahat na arkitekto, pantay-pantay.
Mm-hmm.
Yun po.
Yeah.
Rob, can I add?
Yes, go ahead.
Gusto lang akong idagdag kay Ms. Roselle. Kasi parang you think, Ms. Roselle, yung pandemic, no, yung sub like what you said na parang it provided bridge to different areas na maka-attend. So parang it's sort of equalizer.
Yes.
Equalizer for the architecture session, di ba? Parang nag-distribute siya ng accessibility sa lahat.
Yes, correct. Oo. Kaya nga nung nag-interview last year yung KYP, tinatanong nga sa akin, so ano yung parang mahirap or ano yung problem with now 2020 na may pandemic tayo? Sabi ko, siguro yung pandemic yung problem, pero parang blessing in disguise siya na mas maraming arkitekto na naka-attend ng National Architecture Week, hindi lang sa Philippines, pero yung architects abroad, nagkaroon ng access para mag-celebrate with us. Ayun. So hindi lang siya lahat bad. Maganda rin naman, may maganda namang nagawa.
True.
So even now, actually, we are still in the new normal, no? And we will really maximize yung ating mga virtual platforms. And ayan, mabuti na lang din at meron po tayong susundan na pattern through Architect Roselle Santos. Thank you for that. And what I appreciate about what Architect Roselle mentioned was yung pwede namang gawin yung sentro ng NAW, let's say sa Mindanao, sa Cebu, 'di ba? Which is totoo, no? Even sa up north in mga bandang region 1 or 2, no? Yan. And because of that, naalala ko, and shout out na rin sa aking mga kasama sa NAW committee or area representatives, no, from A, Architect Mel, hello, from B, Architect Reg, from C, Architect Jody from Metro Tacloban, and from D, Architect Rail Espirituoso, no. So malay nyo in the future baka diyan po sa inyo mismo gawin ng sentro ng National Architecture Week. Ayun. So thank you sa ating mga architects, and we really appreciate you allotting time and sharing with us about your great experiences in leading the past National Architecture Week celebrations, as well as your mga sinare ninyong insights, aspirations for future celebrations. And because of that, we just truly can't wait for this year's National Architecture Week. Tama ba, Michelle?
Yes, and we're very excited to witness everything that is going to unfold in the coming weeks. And also, it's a matter of, it's a means of paying homage, or like telling we're grateful to this past chapter president, past chapter presidents, or now chairman, now previously now chairman, na meron silang iniwan ng mga marks na we can look up to, we can pattern a bit of our now
True.
from their accomplishment. It's like a stepping stone. Thank you for the previous now chairman, Sir Christian, Ma'am Roselle, and Ma'am
Thank
Sophia.
you.
Thank you
Yes.
also.
Thank you and good luck.
Marami pong salamat, architects.
Good luck. Thank you.
Mhm.
Good luck.
Before we end our pilot episode of Ready Now, we will give everyone a glimpse of what to look forward to. So, everyone, architects, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, please watch this video. And that concludes our pilot episode of Ready Now. Muli, maraming salamat po, Architect Sophia Avendaño, Architect Christian Guerrero, and Architect Roselle Santos, ang ating mga past now chairpersons. Bago po natin tapusin ang ating episode na to, ang aming pong tanong, ready na ba kayo? Because we are definitely ready now. Mabuhay ang arkitektong Filipino, future forward now!